The quote of the day today is, "The imagination is unleashed by constraints. You break out of the box by stepping into shackles." And that is from Jonah Lehrer. And the reason I picked this is because, and it directly involves Dinkum, the game I'm playing, because I have been trying to push myself this year in, and not just this year, but like kind of, you know, it's been kind of getting sprinkled into my creative pursuits in real life, but also in the games that I play. I struggle a lot with coming up with an idea and then executing it in games where you have the freedom to decorate and build and unleash that side of yourself. And I've always struggled with that for real life creative stuff, because I get overwhelmed by the possibilities. So one of the things I'm doing in this game and in Dreamlight Valley is trying to push myself to do more of that kind of stuff and not overthink it so much. Now, I'm still overthinking things because reining that in is going to be a whole other level, but it doesn't mean I can't kind of combat the overthinking by doing things. So a couple weeks ago, I was starting to work on, I think that was a couple weeks ago, I was starting to work on moving people around in Dinkum to start expanding their areas. So the first person I started on was Rain. She has a greenhouse. I want to make her area like a kind of a gardening center. I want it to be relatively natural looking. I want a lot of overgrowth in her space, but I also want like flower boxes and an apiary kind of space. And so I moved her and I started putting stuff in her space, and it looks like a hot mess right now because mostly I just was like, okay, now that I've moved her, I also want to put all this stuff down in her area so that I can then start kind of getting a feel for it. And then I'm going to start with some other characters and some other spaces to develop around them. And so a couple weeks ago when I started doing that, I was still really overthinking, how big do I want to make the paths? How do I want to make the paths look curved? Or if I'm not going, you know, horizontal, vertical, how do I want to, you know, connect them? I struggle with straight lines versus natural looking curves, especially in a game that's made out of squares. And was sitting there doing things, but also still overthinking the things. And so yesterday when I sat down, I was like, because I'd been thinking about that. It had been like kind of in the back of my brain off and on since I had started really vocalizing it, which is part of the reason I vocalize things, is because once I say it out loud, then it's like it gets the wheels kind of turning. And so I decided to commit to some ideas. And that's where this whole quote comes in, is because I'm giving myself some kind of rules. Now, they're not hard and fast. I don't have to follow them till the end of time. They are rules for me for now, and they may persist throughout the build of this particular island. But it's to give me something to build upon. If I sit there and continue to dicker about, should I make the pathing straight or should I try and make it curved? And should I do, you know, this? Should I level things? Should I raise things? Should I, you know, I'm going to pick an idea and I'm going to pick some rules, and that way I have something to build off of without having to continue to think about that foundational kind of decision. I could make either decision, and either decision would be fine. I may or may not come up with anything wonderful, but I will never get anything done if I don't start somewhere. And if I'm continuing to dicker over the basic bones of like design and layout, then it's going to just continue to make me feel like I don't know what to do next. So I'm deciding on some things, and those things will help inform the next things. And then I can inform the next things. And then I don't have to have a full game plan. I don't have to sit down and draw out all of these architectural and landscaping designs and then execute them, because I really don't know how to. I mean, I do understand how that works, but I don't feel confident enough in doing that process. To do that process, I will dicker and not actually do things. So I'm going to just decide on some stuff and then I'm going to work off those decisions. And then when I get to another point where it's like, okay, I could go this way, I could go that way, then I might pick something else to help me. And shackles is a harsh word in some regard, but it's true. Like, I need to kind of attach myself to a decision so that I can stop thinking about that choice and move on to the next choice. And then I also have to execute it. So there's a lot of road building in my future. There's probably a lot of like terrain manipulation in my future, but I'm hoping that I felt really like inspired yesterday when I was just like, I'm just going to do this. And I'm not going to worry about what if it would look better this way? What if it would look better that way? I don't care right now. I want to try something. So I'm going to try something. I'm going to give myself some rules and I'm going to try it. And if I don't like it, either I can change it, or the next time I go to do something, I can try the other options. And I think it's going to really help. I've actually experienced like giving myself rules, allowing me to be more free and creative in other aspects of whatever the project is. So I know it's real. Like I know that will work. It's just the deciding to just pick something and go. So I'm going to pick something and I'm going to go. So there we go. If it helps you also not overthink and dicker, do it. Pick something and go. Especially if it's not like life or death. This is just a game. And it's an exercise. It's an exercise in getting better at things that you're not comfortable with. And learning to trust yourself. And you can theorize all day about how it may or may not turn out, and worry about whether or not your ideas could actually be executed the way you envision them in your head. But like that seeing is believing kind of thing. Like you won't know until you actually kind of try it out and see what it's like. Thanks for dropping in. If you want to hang out, I stream live on Twitch and YouTube Thursday evenings and middays on Sunday. I hope you have a lovely day, night, time, wherever you are, whenever you are. I'll see you next time.